Welcome back to another week. Obviously, we're missing Metaverse Explorer. Hopefully, it jumps in later. We're starting with somewhere around 27 listening in crowd, so it's pretty awesome to see. It's I'm super excited to come here every week, talk about it, get more people, have people floating ideas. I'm working hard behind the scenes, talking to a lot of game devs, people that have got some fun and exciting things. Hopefully tonight I can see one in the crowd that's going to be talking to us. And I know we've got a second idea later on being floated. Obviously, people know I've been talking about Solaknights. And I'm just pausing to get the links. So, Solaknights have what to me looks like been doing some pretty dodgy stuff. And I've got to try to... This is new for me to see some dodgy things happening. And having covered them, having talked about the game, having been excited, and have them potentially do some bodgy stuff, and I really want people to DYOR. So not everybody's going to get things properly done. Not everybody's going to be able to research things fully. I can research a game. I can talk to the devs, which I did. I talked to the lead gaming dev, and I actually do have a bit of respect for him. I like him.
Hey, bud.
Okay, the world of the dog shit internet in Australia. Welcome to Barndog's stream on a Friday night. So the first one, what it's talking about is I did have another gentleman come and talk to me on the side because they put out some ads in Solana Discord about getting more people. They call them wizards. Basically, they're server boosters, people that advertise the game and that kind of thing. And then they were also looking for more channel admins. And I've seen that around a lot. I don't want to go admin on Discords because I don't want to link myself into an individual game just to, as I've spoken, try to keep at arm's reach. And I'm super happy I did for this particular reason, but it's talking about the Sinti assets, which is how these guys are doing their NFTs. So Frankfurt is a bit of a shiller. He goes around channels and has a chat and joins channels and pumps it up and talks to games, gets a bit involved in some of the projects. I've spoken to him a bit. In the end, he's gone aside and spoken to this Mike. And Mike has basically said that you can only use these particular things they're selling in the game of Solaknights. So you're not allowed to be selling them on the blockchain is my general understanding of this. Now, I'm not 100%, but these are things that I'm still learning as I go along the blockchain. This is, again, my first year in blockchaining and just seeing the response. So I've had a bit of a chat to a gentleman on the side. We put out some feelers on Twitter, had no responses from Solaknights, and then he's come out with this one today that they're doing a flash sale, everything's good. You know, there's a bit of FUD, ignore the FUD. You know, we're halving the price of our nights and we're going to go ahead with a launch. So for anybody that's listened to my videos, I did put a disclaimer on one of them, which I put it in my top 10 of October. I was quietly confident about this game. The gameplay looks good. And speaking to the lead dev for Solana, not lead dev, the lead gaming dev, he still seems really good. I've actually had contact with him in the last 2 days, but Solaknights won't respond to me or answer in Discord. So someone else who did ask some stuff got kicked off Discord, the person that brought me the information. So I don't know. I would love some crowd interaction as to, obviously it looks bodgy, you're hearing my side of it, but I would love some crowd input onto what do we do next with this kind of thing in the situation. We're watching, they've got 36 items last I looked this morning, 36 items for sale on their marketplace. So he's still actively selling these products and we don't even know whether we're allowed to use these products, own these products. Blockchain gaming is meant to mean you own the asset and you can either take it, sell it, move it around, but you know, there's obviously questions on whether they have the rights to do that in the game, let alone, yeah, it's a very tricky situation. So I would love some feedback on that. To me, one of my biggest fears of doing these talks, these YouTubes, these streams is someone losing their money over it. So I'll invite you to stage, KingLord, because we can take that into the next segment if you like. I've just sent you an invite. You'll have a green accept come up. So it was meant to be a Unity 4, a UE45 game.
Oh, hello.
Good evening. Thanks for coming, dude. Cheers for the response, and this might make it a bit easier for you to answer.
Yeah, sure. So I was just hearing you guys talk, and been developing games for a while, and I'm familiar with the Cinti assets because they're, I think, one of, if not the most popular graphic assets that are on the Unity store and in Unreal as well. And anyone can go and look up. It's like cintistore.com end user license agreement, and you can check it out there. But they're pretty explicit that their assets are for use within an end product, as within a, and then they further define that as a game. They're not meant to be distributed as the asset itself. I assume if they have it in writing from Cinti, that would probably be okay. But until they are able to show that to somebody saying we've talked with Cinti and they're okay with us doing this, I would be very, very careful.
No, they don't have permission. Cinti haven't recognised that at all, and nothing's been brought forward by the main project dev. So for them selling that on their marketplace, what is it, a copyright breach? We at risk of holding the asset? What happens sort of next? I'm not. It's kind of hard, I guess. I'm not trying to get you to answer a lawyer's question, but it basically means we've bought a picture, yes, and we can't do anything with it.
Sure. So obviously, again, not a lawyer myself, but what I can tell you is from them purchasing the Cinti assets, and so they don't basically have anything to transfer to you, I think, is like the high level TLDR.
Yeah. But I appreciate your feedback on that, King. That's awesome. That's also really cool to see crowd members being able to tap away. This is what we're after. We would love this kind of stuff, and it's actually going to lead me into, I've got KingLord on tonight because he's actually got a bit of a pitch for the gaming slash grape community. So KingLord, obviously you and I have been chatting. You came to me first. Not came to me first, but you heard me on the live DAO speak on Sunday night. We do have a couple of the team crew in here at the moment. Would you like to sort of touch on what you were looking at, what you were talking about me in Discord?
Yeah, sure. I don't want to bogart too much of your time here, obviously, but I'm a big fan of Grape, and I'm very new to the Solana community. I just really got into it last week. Come from a long background in Ethereum, but I was looking around and I got really excited. Just read through last night some of the papers that got put out around squads, which was something I was very excited about. And I'm working with a gaming DAO on Solana, and we were trying to figure out essentially how to make the onboarding process for a new guild member that wants to be able to join the guild and access a variety of play to earn games across different blockchains, for lack of a better term, not suck. And so I've been going through and doing some research across various technologies and seeing what it would be possible for us to build out, that would basically just be kind of, I guess the best word for it might be like a thin client, but to allow a guild member to log in and for us to create a collection of wallets for them and have them interface with the guild vault very similar to how you would access like a store or a vendor in like an RPG, right? So pretty basic. They've got their guild tokens that they've earned through staking or whatever, and they're able to just go into the vault or a store and exchange things through a very simple interface and make it very easy for them to onboard and offboard. So if they get sick of playing one game, they can basically just sell stuff back to a vendor, get some guild coins, and then go to a vendor who sells items and NFTs for a different game, purchase what they want, throw it in their own wallet, and walk out and go start playing a new game and not have to worry about all the cross blockchain headaches and things like that.
So I know, for a bit of background, you're fairly new to Solana. You said you started on Ethereum. What's obvious? You want to go cross chain, but the basic line there is you want to have the guild effectively owns 15 games worth of NFTs, and you've got 5 of them worth 2 Solana each, so you can go and hand in one for 2 Solana and trade over any of the other 4 NFTs in effect. Is that the basic plan?
Yeah, the basic plan is just that the guild bank won't care where things come from, right? And it ostensibly kind of we won't really at least initially we won't really care where they go. I've been scribbling down some stuff around like ownership and rentals and some other things, but I think at least certainly for a first pass we would have to assume that it's a transaction that we would never expect to see back. But there's kind of like a little pawn shop thing you could probably work into some contracts and some of the things there in the future. But basically, yeah, the thing for me is like I don't want a guild member to basically have any major hurdles or barriers to entry for different games as the guild moves along because I just basically I'm familiar with this stuff just from the gaming standpoint, right? And not wanting to have to deal with it from users within a game. And for me, this is very similar. Like I want things to be very easy for the DAO as well. So I just haven't found any kind of solution currently out there that does anything like this.
What will the fees be like though?
So all that stuff would have to be like figured out within the DAO's smart contract. So I don't, depending on the tokens and how that stuff works, like this what I would be working on is just kind of the user interface that would sit over that. So, in theory, you could plug in any kind of tokenomics you wanted to make that work. And I think those fees would be adjustable depending on what the DAO wanted and market conditions and all that stuff. So, right, yeah. So some of the technologies that I'm looking at, so like Solana is obviously low. IMX is also very low on fees, but like I'm looking at some other technology, at least to prototype this out in. I don't know if it would be what we stick with, but the one I'm familiar with from the game dev point of view is Stardust, and they're walled garden right now with things, but that would allow me to do something and at least kick the bucket around and have a zero fee infrastructure in the beginning. So that's at least I'm hopeful. I haven't built it yet, but that's at least my plan at the moment.
It sounds like a bloody good idea though.
But what happens to things like metadata and people are now taking ownership of an NFT that is not originally theirs. It's part of the DAO, but so where's the concept on metadata? Effectively, I guess are you just taking faith that the guild would work towards the DAO, however you want to call it, would work towards making sure that you're not stuffing up those NFTs?
Yeah, effectively, in the beginning, I think there has to be a layer of trust there. But I think you can build that exchange or that economic system to build in as much or as little trust as you want, basically. So I think you can have it where it would assume good faith to some extent on the end of the user, or you could assume no good faith. And basically just you're outright selling them the asset, and if it ever comes back, great. But if it doesn't, it's really not something you're counting on. I was also just reading up last night on some of the fractionalized ownership stuff that's starting to surface around Solana, which I think is super awesome. I wouldn't plan on plugging that into anything I'm working on just yet, but I'm really excited to see what that would do in this space as well. If there is a way to actually divvy up the ownership of any given NFT between the guild vault for the DAO and a player.
KingLord's touch base with me because I'd like to have some kind of a scholarship set up at Grape. So my aim, and it's only really come to me over the last couple of weeks as I'm talking to more games and stuff, is can we do something which is actually a community-driven project where we're not worrying about potentially making as much money as 50-50 from things back, but maybe supporting some communities that can really benefit from that, and as a way to give back. But obviously you need to then concern yourself about having asset ownership. So for fractionalized or wrapping NFTs, I know SolCypher had something they were talking about wrapping, and they're in Ignition, which is finishing this weekend. So I'm certainly keen to see. I think coming out of this Ignition, we're going to see quite a few projects concentrating on NFTs because they're so big. So where do you go next then, KingLord? Have you got a part of a team?
So right now it's a team of me. I'm kind of the only developer that's really on the DAO that has any idea what they're doing with this stuff. So my goal was just to basically get all my thoughts down on paper, and get kind of a rough design, and then work through that myself, and tap into the wonderful knowledge base of people that are much smarter with Solana stuff than I am, at least, to kind of get this thing going. But I've been, so far it's a great community. It moves very quickly, and I'm just trying to kind of strap in and learn along the way.
Yeah, it certainly does move quickly in this space.
Yeah, every week it is amazing. Look, I really appreciate you coming on stage, and I'm certainly keen to find out more. Hopefully we can see what we can do at Grape. Obviously the Grape tool sets and all of that's a little bit above my knowledge level, and every week things are changing here at Grape. There's so many things going on, so many projects joining up. It's over 60,000 verified wallets. It's amazing how busy the NFT market's getting.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely not be a stranger, and thank you for the opportunity to get up here and talk to you all. Definitely appreciate it. And if there's anything else I can ever come on and talk to you about that you're curious, if I have some subject matter expertise, I'm more than happy to do so.
Hasn't been a super huge week. Eggy, what do you reckon? What's been happening that's caught your attention for Star Atlas this week?
Like the town hall was pretty plain. The questions at the end that some people raised were really interesting to me, though. Like they said, like Wagner come out and said future drops for the poster holders, but he also said in the same breath, where I interpret it, yeah, but you've made so much money and you got extra assets that are worth way more than what you paid. So meh, if we don't. That's what I got for six. I did the same thing with their tokens. That's why I got out of them as well, because like they have no tokens for that, and they do nothing. And I went, meh, you made your money because you got them cheap.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but I think with the poster holders, he is reiterating that they got the economics wrong at the start, which is super. It's super important to understand that they're admitting they've made a mistake with the economics at the start. Wagner's an economics major. That's what he did at university before he got into blockchaining, and they got that price wrong. I think they're going to use it as a filler. So in a quiet week or a quiet couple of weeks, if they don't have anything big, they'll no doubt have things pre-made and pre-NFTs where they're going to line up and maybe do skins or bonus ships. Or it was super interesting to see the grape awards come out. That was really cool. It was good to see that on stage. And Funcracker, are you still in the crowd? Just having a look through the names there. He may not be listening in, but Funcracker got on stage. And did you listen to the little bit that I played through for you, Eggy, to watch? So it was good to see it on stage. Funcracker, really appreciate that. Afia did a good job. I've got to go through and read all three, but Meowcat, Seafoam Bowen, really, really big prizes. 160,000 grape, and for me, what disappointed me out of the whole event was the fact that there was no real mention for grape. Super disappointing to see. It's probably one of the biggest things that I would say. I've watched a lot of interviews with Wags, and to actually see him miss that, like the biggest single event ever done. And it was based on a token that was at 2 cents at the start. So obviously it's 10 times the value. So still, even at 10 times less the value, it was still a huge prize. But this is the kind of thing that I love seeing across Solana gaming. And there's a lot of games and platforms and stuff out there. And it kind of leads into a little bit more. Yeah, jump on, Funcracker. That'd be awesome. Sorry, I thought you put your hand up. That's awesome that you're listening. There's a lot of games out there that want your help. That everyone that's listening now is, you've got an opportunity tonight. I can talk about multiple games, and I will talk about multiple games that have got prizes available right now to get in, and they want to engage the crowd. They want to engage the player base, and Star Atlas has done that. No, I get it. It must be hard, and this isn't me just trying to bitch and moan. You know, poor Grape, poor Grape. The thing is, we've had some awesome bits of writing. Now, do you know whether they're going to include that lore into the game for the winners? The 3 winners, is that actually going to become game lore?
Not right away. It is something that's being looked at, but I think it really depends. They might not be able to use all the parts of the stories, and it's also, of course, not at all on top of their priority list right now. But it was alluded to that might be an option, but that's really all I have on that.
No, that's awesome. I really appreciate you coming on and answering that. Is there anything from Aphia? You guys are going all 3 factions, so is there anything that you guys? I guess you're not going heavily into one particular faction. Are you guys just going to split across all 3? And is that what's the purpose behind that? I haven't really gotten it behind Metaverse about the real answer. Why are you guys splitting all 3?
Well, because the resources that we need to build our ships are spread out over all 3 factions. So, and since we have been pretty big on the whole vertical integration aspect of the whole supply chain to create ships, we figured it makes sense for us to actually then split ourselves up in 3 different arms that have presence in all 3 factions, since that is where the exclusive resources are that we need. So that's actually a pretty simple answer. Of course, there's a bit more to it, but I keep that under wraps. But that is really the core of it, though. This is really the primary reason why we do that.
It's like controlling all the Black Lotus Barndog.
Yeah, I mean, we could, of course, set up trading agreements or whatever to get the resources from the other factions that we not ourselves. But since our focus is on really controlling the whole supply chain, this for us made sense to do.
As for the F4, that looked like a really good ship. Eggy, do you want to talk about the F4?
Yeah, I was really happy with the way it was. Like, I've been pretty critical of them because they haven't had any stats on the ships, like not knowing what you're buying. They released it, and I bought one, and I said I wasn't going to.
So, for a little bit of context behind that, Ed, you know, we're 41 years old. We've been lifetime gamers, and as old Australians, you know, like we spend money on games, and he wouldn't spend $64 on the very first poster. Yet he's changed to a situation now where he spent $2,500 on a ship. The game looks good. We're all waiting the mini launch, no doubt. I do have people talking in our chat here. Friendly neighbourhood grapist. I like that. Where are we? It's talking about the scholarship posters. Talking about the posters. The question was more phrased towards being from scholarship owners, but I don't think from a scholarship owner collecting the posters for me is going to be a good plan. It was never guaranteed that they were going to drop. It was only ever going to be one promised drop, and then probably 2 to 3 months ago they listed that they were going to be potentially dropping. And I think that was a very sly way of hinting to allow people more of a trade. It was NFTs have gone crazy on Solana. You look at all of your degenos and everything after that, they've gone up to some ridiculous prices. Yet your first poster was around, what did it get up to? Was it 1,800? And your Armstrong was over 2,000. Yet now you can get a level 1 poster. Sorry, not level 1, a first poster for $100. So I just think they want to allow people to a bit more thought, a bit more chance for them to trade. I personally won't sell any of mine. I bought 3 of the first posters, and I'll never sell them because, you know, like I'll use them on multiple accounts. We've got to control those Black Lotuses.
Right, but I like the idea of 3 alliances. I reckon it's a good idea.
But is it not going to spread out the teams too much? So you've got a third of your team.
Imagine like 40-man raid guilds. They got 120-man guilds now.
These
guys going to be building ships, man. They're not going to be attacking people, upsetting their trade route. They'll build ships to sell them to idiots to blow themselves up.
I think that the trading, like you're saying, they're going to set. You're not going to want to attack these guilds. And what I'm really excited about is seeing we're playing this game. It's been said before on many videos, discords. Is I've said this to Eggy, like Sixon. I've said you're now on YouTube talking with me to a bunch of people having a few beers. We're playing this game, and the game's not even out. We're on Discord. We're theory crafting. We're not going as heavily into it as Rome. They do a 2.5-hour series per week, and that's an amazing chat. I'm in the sidelines trying to just have a bit of a chat to the guys myself and see whether we can do some kind of link up, maybe a special one. But I really appreciate you coming on, Funcracker, and putting your own spin, especially seeing as I've just thrown you on. That was awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, welcome, mate. So, yeah, I have a few things popping by. So I actually just like to go back to that Black Rock Mountain thing example you mentioned as well. So I mean, at first in the game, of course, right, there will be no way for you to kind of secure a passageway into your faction space for the simple reason that you just cannot park ships at a location because there are no locations just yet. But I think even when the Star Atlas actually will arrive, probably Q1 next year, you will still not be able to just send ships to patrol or to just guard a certain area. And even if at the point where you can do that, space should be in 3D, so there should be really no problem for interfaction trade happening that way. I don't really see that happening. I mean, World of Warcraft was different. There were just a few entryways. You could very easily guard them and shut them down. But of course, in a 3D galaxy, that is quite impossible to do. So we don't see any issues with setting up trade that way and moving our goods from A to B between faction A and B. Yeah, I just wanted to briefly mention that.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Sounds good.
No,
Thanks for
by
coming on.
all means. And
Appreciate
I
that.
mean, the Black Rock Mountain with Black Lotus's example is a bit different as well because you've only got a 2-faction setting, whereas having that third faction is going to be a lot different. And what I really like about the game at the moment is everyone's talking. It's friendly because we don't have money on the line at the moment. There's no skin in the game. Obviously, we've all bought stuff, except for Eggy because he's a cheap prick and he wouldn't do it. But like most people have
now.
He has now. Welcome, Metaverse. Welcome.
Hey, mate. Thanks for having me. Sorry, I'm a bit late, guys. I had an emergency at the moment.
Oh, good, mate. Welcome back. Glad you're safe.
Oh, good. Thank you. I must have missed.
I held your seat warm, so you can take over, mate.
I must have missed a lot. What have we discussed so far?
I had my bitch and moan about the town hall, and Funcracker was awesome. He came on stage, and we had a good yarn from there. We haven't gone really deep into Star Atlas, but of course it's 10:15. Favor SolCypher. The question you've got here. Any info on that? So I haven't read all of that. They did come onto Grape. So Dean Machine actually had them on Grape. I've been in the Discord and having a bit of a chat to them. SolCypher looks to be a riddle question solving ciphers. Exactly that. It's kind of funny the spin on the name, but they're going to be a free-to-play game. It's actually in effect a play-to-earn game, so you don't have to spend anything to go in. They're going to set up a bunch of riddles, and it's going to be based on a solo player game initially. They've got hints and tactics to be able to make people question whether they're getting help from people or not. But the baseline of it is that you can pay to have riddles answered. You can pay to have extra hints, and that they're limited and potentially time restricted. And at the end, the winner is going to get a share of the pot and potential NFTs. So the first pot's set to start. The first quest is set to start on the 24th of October. And yeah, 10 Solana. So thank you again, Funcracker. It does look good. I'm going to have a bit of a chat to them on the weekend. I've penciled them down for a bit more of a deep dive. I didn't get to do it on Grape and see the display with Dean, unfortunately. time, but I wanted to talk a little bit about fair launch protocol. And it's super important, and there's another one that's going to lead into that as well, Metaverse, is the golden ticket. But fair launch protocol, I'm going to let you run with this, Metaverse. I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, right. So from my knowledge, fair launch protocol is kind of a newish thing that's happening in Solana at the moment. I think a few protocols have already started using it. And it seems to me it has a promise of providing you with a fair approach to NFT launch. So the way it works, and this is to my understanding, everyone can feel free to correct me, is that it's going to be on when you're trying to bid for an NFT on Solana, you will have to there's two different phases. And so when you bid for first, you will put in the amounts that you think is worth it. And then when everyone else has put in their amounts in the first phase, it kind of calculates it at what the median price is. And then within the second phase, you get to either one, withdraw your Solana knowing what the median price is, that what the mint is going to be at, or you can bid above that to try and if you already bid above the fair launch price, then you will probably be guaranteed to get that NFT. Or you can increase your bid if you want. That's my understanding of fair launch protocol. Does anyone else have another understanding of it?
Yeah, so there's to do with fees, and the fees that are going to come about. This is part of them trying to stop the bots. Is the people doing the launch can actually nominate a fee, and that's going to be the fee that you bid, whether you win or lose, whether you adjust your bid, whether you're not happy with the price. I can actually put this down to a game, and I've done a deep dive on them this week, which is why I know, is Nyan Heroes. And Nyan Heroes I was impressed with. The gameplay looks good, but they're setting their fair launch protocol at between 3 and 6 Solana. So even a Rory initial launch was 5 Solana, and we know that they had a massive team, regardless of what happened in the launch and the fact that it was 1 Solana. Their launch was 5, and now these guys are coming in between 3 and 6. So
that's a rather large,
huge.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people might be priced out on that. But at the same time, if people don't value the NFT, that they can go ahead and bid at 3.1, and they might be included if people don't actually want this NFT. That'll so the fees is that when they set the fees, you will lose that fee.
Yeah, and the fee is subjective to who's setting the protocol, who's doing the protocol. That's right. So when Nyan list it, they can choose 0.1. So I believe, what was it? One of the sharks that did it, wasn't it? That did the launch.
That's right. I think it was the sharks that did launch, and they set the fee as 0.1. So if you were a bot and you tried to snipe all of these from the launch, you'd have to pay 0.1 Sol, which I'm actually a fan of it, because in one of my recent videos I covered with Sol Big Brain that we can't participate in these NFT drops anymore. They're all dominated by bots. There's no way for us plebs to actually get in and get a good NFT that we want.
You're segueing so well into my next one. But you think that it's fair if someone has a product at $180? Chain Myth is launching at $180. They're going to work out Solana. It's the second one I've seen this week. But if they set at 0.1, they're actually going to do golden ticket, and we should talk a little about that. But if they set it at 0.1, that's added another 10% to the entire cost of turned $180 into $200 for that particular NFT. Is that not pricing out potential buyers that want to play the game?
That possibly is, yeah. But if you have $170, $180 to spend, you also have $200 to spend.
Yeah, I like it. I do like that we're coming up with better ideas than these fucking everything sold out in 3 seconds. That's not manageable.
Yeah. We need a better system, especially in Solana where transaction fees are so fast, and especially when it's so cheap for someone to make a bid. We need to find a Solana-specific roundabout for us to actually achieve this.
The second one is about the Zoolana video I put out, and this was a complete.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Have you?
I'm excited.
You haven't probably watched it?
I have watched, I think, half of it. I haven't been able to finish it. All I know so far is Zoolana, 0 mint cost, 0 Solana, or maybe 0.002 to pay for the account rent fee.
But it does cost you something to mint that. So you've got to keep that in mind. But Zoolana are launching at 7 p.m. UST tonight. So that is 5 a.m. Eastern States time, I believe.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. So what that is, that's like 3 a.m. for Perth, where Sixon is. They're actually doing a teaser launch NFT. I've got it in my video. I don't actually have it prepared. But what the teaser is they're doing 3,000 mints, and they've picked 200 of their busiest people on their Discords and 100 people from Kaiju. And I was super impressed with that they obviously know each other well, the devs DD80 and Kaiju Mike. But what was really cool was I did go and have a look at the questionnaire that Kaiju put out. They weren't simple questions. I didn't know all of the answers. Much appreciated. Is that, so what have we got there? Yep. So they actually put out questions that made people think and look. They aren't just trying to send 100 bots from Kaiju to Zoolana. They've thought about this. They've talked about it. They also are two games that are trying to build ergonomically, is a word I use a little bit. But 3,000 mints, 7 p.m. UST on the 15th. And that's going to give you a percentage chance. There's going to be 4 rarities. That's going to give you a percentage chance to get a free alpha NFT, which they're doing in November. So unreleased prices, unreleased mint numbers, and they're not going to be generative. I got that wrong in my first video, which DD80 was pretty awesome.
I personally myself like the art that they've put on for these free mint NFTs. They look like they've actually put some effort into it, and that they've distinguished them from each other.
I'd like to thank him if they're listening. And it's funny because he did critique some of my videos and stuff, but I've been lucky enough to have a bit of leeway in some of the things some of these games are showing me, and I've kept those secrets, I should say. But they did a writing contest as well, and I read the first prize, and I didn't get a chance to read the rest of them. I still haven't read all of ours from Grape. So I love that they're building these, and that's just fucking amazing to see that, you know, we've got a world that's riddled with corona and all of this. We can't travel, we can't leave our states, we can't leave our countries, but there's new opportunities for people to get out, have a bit of fun, experiment, meet new people, play games. Really, really awesome. Old Barndog needs a steak and 4 pints, so I'm going to segue into Wing. I met Wing in Perth, and Sixon Eggy. He's going to fill in for me next time. Wing, do you want to tell us what you're here to talk about?
Yeah, sure. Speaking of a steak and 4 pints, that's kind of what we did when we met in Perth, wasn't it? So I know you're talking about gaming on this chat and stuff, and what we released recently. It's not really about gaming, but it is a game as well. So it's just good fun. So let me just link in the chat our website. We did an NFT launch last week. It's called Dill the Seal. It was a stealth launch. So you were talking before about invite comps and overhyped projects and things like that. The stealth launch is kind of, in a way, it solves that problem. But like one of my mates just said, it's a bit unfair for those people who aren't sitting next to the computer 24/7. So
or have friends that can link them to those particular stealth launches.
Well, yeah, that's right as well. I suppose it rewards the people who are paying attention, but you can't be paying attention 24/7. So it's sort of a solution to those, but not really. What the project actually is, though, is we sold out in about an hour and a half with this stealth launch. And
Congrats.
Thank you. It was like a micro mint as well, so 0.175 Sol.
Nice.
6666 supply. So kind of just caught fire after the first half hour or so, and then what happens with these things is it kind of snowballs and people FOMO in, and you know, it was a good result, but we weren't expecting it to go so fast. It was pretty good, but we've been working pretty hard in the week following to release some things to let people know what we actually are. So Dill the Seal is an NFT lottery system. So it's a Discord party is what we are. We recently released our bot that you just make seal noises at. So you type arf arf in the chat, and he'll flip cards. So if anyone's on the website, you can see that there's some cards flipping over there. So the way that we do it is every Dill the Seal is numbered. We open our bot for a certain amount of time for a certain card. So say the card in the 1000th place, we open that for say 6 to 8 hours or so. Everyone has a good time, makes arf sounds in the Discord, and then when the time runs out, it locks in whatever number it is, and then we go on to the next digit and so on. And we can kind of do any combination of cards and numbers, leave some cards out depending on how many NFTs we want to drop to our holders. We decide on like what combination we want to use there. So just say it locks in the cards like 4,320, and we've got 10 NFTs to drop. Everyone in the 4,320s wins a drop, and then we might have like a bigger major prize that we'll spin that last the ones digit and find which of those 10 wins that last NFT. So it's a good bit of fun, and a lot of the prizes that we're going to be dropping are from our royalties. So 100% of our royalties go towards buying the prizes at this point in time. But we've also been reaching out to different projects and asking them for donations, newer projects that want to get their stuff out there, so we can give them a bit of exposure and kickstart their marketplace, because it puts their NFT in the hands of some Dills holders, and they might want to sell or hold or get interested in those projects and things as well. So it's kind of multifaceted that way, that we kind of like a little launch pad for new projects, but also just a big party, big fun time. When we tested our bot, our members were going crazy and loved it, and there wasn't even anything to win at that point in time. So it'll be interesting to see next week when we actually do our first giveaway, the kind of traction that we get in the Discord. Yeah, but that's basically us. That's what we're doing.
Right, interesting. Yeah. It sounds like you have a good community there. I do have a few questions if I can. So, sure. So your actual NFT prizes for the raffle, that comes from the royalties that you guys accrue from the secondary sales of the NFTs on marketplaces. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
So what happens when like people stop trading? Like your community is so strong in their conviction of holding these NFTs that they don't actually trade them anymore. They don't sell them. There's no secondary royalty fees. And so where does your actual capital come from to purchase floor NFTs from other projects?
Yeah, that's a great question. Considering this is, we would expect that the floor of the Dills will rise, and those that are holding a big bag will probably take some profits. And we're hoping that it kind of disperses and the number of holders increases, so that, because each drop we're dropping maybe 10, 11 NFTs. Sometimes if we can source a lot of new ones, we might drop 100, or somehow if we can, we drop 1,000, that kind of thing. People are going to weigh the value of holding their Dill Seal to win a lottery against the floor price, and they'll sell to take some profits. The real issue is if a big whale comes and just scoops everything, and then they win everything, and then it kind of kills it, doesn't it? But we've thought about that down the line, and think about some ideas like Generation 2 and things like that. But it's a problem that I think we'll face when we have to face it.
Yeah, one step at a time.
But yeah, it's a great question, because that is some of the discussions the team's been having. But human nature is, if that floor goes up, they're not going to hold on to all of their deals. They're going to sell some, and hopefully promote secondary sales. And it's kind of built in to promote secondary sales as well, in the way that we stagger the flipping of the cards. If there's 10 cards left that are in the running to win, just say down the line we get a monkey, Solana monkey business, and there's 10 cards left, people will be fielding offers for one of those 10 cards for a chance to win it, and they have to decide whether they roll the dice, try to win it, or they sell it for profit now, or things like that. So, yeah, it's interesting.
I would agree that it's not quite gaming, but you've tapped into a niche that
Yeah.
like I think Solana can really offer, which is gamification
Yep,
of
yep,
actual
yep.
protocols. So like right now, we need a way for us to actually stop all these bots from running, and you're offering like a solution for people to come and kind of like win through raffles and through like not using bots. So I think that's
Yep.
something that's really important. That's something that Solana needs at the
Some more
moment.
beer?
Yeah,
might be.
absolutely. I'm a big advocate for gamification. I'm actually a primary school teacher. That's how I teach. I'm just let's gamify everything. Let's try to level up in everything that we do, keep it interesting and keep it engaging. So it's a big part of it. We want to make it fun. And you see all these Twitter giveaways and projects do collaborations where they give away one each kind of thing, but the community doesn't benefit from that. Whereas this way, we still have that kind of collaboration, but our community benefits by getting free stuff now and then. Their community benefits by, getting some exposure. So,
yeah, I would definitely agree there. We do have a community question here. Where are Dills listed at the moment? Are you on SolCypher, maybe Magic Eden?
we're on Magic Eden and we're on Digitalize. We've been talking to Alpha Art as well, but we haven't got much back from them yet. But we're pushing for all the other marketplaces as well. But we were pre-listed on Digitalize and we got Magic Eden pretty fast. And we just got listed on Rarity. We've been on Rarity Mon for a while, listed on a couple of the other Rarity sites. Let me see, because we literally just announced it before I jumped on.
Good.
We're on How Rare Is.
Yeah, How Rare
Sorry?
Is. I was just going to say, since Radium and Magic Eden are going to be doing their little partnership, you'll basically have exposure to everyone on Radium to buy one of these Dill Seals.
Yeah, and that's fantastic as well. Magic Eden's my favorite marketplace. I gave them a lot of feedback when they first launched about all their spelling errors. That's the teacher in me. So I've been in that private alpha for a while. So I think they're a great marketplace. So it's good just exposure wise and the partnerships they're coming up with as well. Barndog Gamerplex wants to come up.
Yeah, I've got his. You'll have a little green bar across his screen there. Click yes, and see how you go with your voice now.
Hey guys, how you going?
Hey,
Can
mate.
you hear us?
Good, mate. How are you?
5
Yeah,
Aussies
it's,
on the screen. I'm just going to put that out there. There's 5 Australians on screen right now.
How is that possible? Is it just the time zone, or?
It's going to be time zone, and honestly, and I don't want to take away from what we're going to get into. Is we are a time zone based on Australia, and the main presenters are here, and we're talking about this stuff. Welcome, bro. It's based around our time zone, having a few beers, having a talk. Let's talk a little bit about where you're from. What are you up to?
Yeah, no worries. So just a bit about myself. I've been a massive fan of Solana for the last year and a half. Started up a blog about Solana at Solana.blog a couple of years ago, and then really just wanted to get involved with it. For those in Australia, I don't know how on the call, but I used to work at BHP, so basically left a corporate job to move into just building up a Solana startup. So what we're doing at the moment is developing 3 games to integrate with Solana using Stardust, and we've got a marketplace that sells NFTs called Gamerplex.com, and basically the 3 games we've got coming out is Kinland, Vortex, and Cyber Wars. We've just entered Cyber Wars into the Solana Ignition Hackathon, and we've got a late night tonight to submit a new video. We're just doing some tweaks on the game, and submitting that.
Are you literally
tonight,
coming on
into the
stream?
Ignition Hackathon.
Are you literally coming on stream and you've got to finish this out by tonight?
Yeah. So I think it's like 2:00 tomorrow Perth time, which is like midnight Saturday. Midnight Friday over in America, which is the Ignition Hackathon ending date or time. And then
you've got a few people worried.
Big night tonight.
You have got a few people worried in Ignition about Cyber Wars. And I was we talked about SolCypher earlier in the night. They're a little bit worried about what you've got to show. How do you think the end's going to come for the ignition?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is to use these hackathons. I tell everyone just to get involved with the hackathons, no matter what. I think there was 5,000 projects or something launching on this Ignition hackathon. We're just one of them, but it's a great opportunity to speed up your development and really focus for 6 weeks to really launch something and try and get something to market, build something that people can start playing with. For the purpose of the hackathon, we're producing a video, and then shortly after, trying to build the games and have people be able to play them, and collect NFTs that are going through Stardust. Yeah, so it's a integration platform that enables game devs to quickly link to their. Basically, you have to spin up a little server and then put your token on there to access, like an authentication token, to access Stardust, and it allows gamers to play a game. It automatically creates an account based off whatever login you use on the game. It could be a Gmail account or something to log into a game. It automatically goes off, creates a Solana wallet, and then as you play the game, automatically puts. So through an API call, it can put an NFT into the gamer's wallet. So it just really helps speed up development. So the gamer or the game dev isn't actually, learning Rust and figuring out how to talk to a blockchain. It's just this middleware layer that sort of helps game development. But basically, they say about 3 lines of code, which isn't true, but it is pretty quick to integrate and then figure out how to build games and talk to it. For ourselves, what we've built out is just one district of a city called Soul City within a game called Cyber Wars, and all it is you drive in with a cyber truck, get out and start walking around talking to characters and start getting missions and going off and collecting NFTs through the missions system that we just built out like 2 days ago. And then you basically fight robots. So it's set in the year 2050. There's a lot of robots that rule the world at that time. So we're just building out a world in that.
Your Cyber Wars, your main one, you've got in your newest video on your Gamerplex. Is that a DeLorean with the doors that open out?
No, that's this Tesla Cybertruck. So
is that the one with the glass windows that doesn't break?
Yeah, that's the one. You can throw anything at it, nothing will break those windows.
But do you think he did it for publicity? Because look at all the people still talking about it.
No, sorry. So
yeah.
We did just have a question. So and I do want to try and get them because it's relevant. Does that mean you've got no actual games at the moment? Are you just selling on a concept? Kid Bucko, I really do like this, and I don't want to. It's not a bad question. You've got 3 games on your platform. You're doxed. I've had a stake with this man. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not here to flog his game. He actually came on Discord with Dean last week at an Ignition event, and it was really awesome to see him just reach out. Dean was keen for people from Ignition, and he was one. So can I call you by your first name? You've got X. Where does the X come from?
Where does the X come from? So basically, I originally started SB as Solana blog. So if you can go to Solana.blog. There's a blog I wrote about everything Solana. We had to rebrand because we didn't want to be. People were confusing us with the official Solana blog, which is like Solana.com/news or whatever it is. And what we did was actually just call it Sol X blog, and started using an X, which I then got pretty serious about, developing and building on Solana, which then turned into Sol X Ventures, which is a company in Australia, and now it's basically part and parcel of all the sort of games and stuff that we're building.
All right.
So it's the logo. It's part of the logo on Gamerplex. Pretty much anything with an X in it, we'll try and build a game around.
I like it. That's a good answer, and we'll link that back into. I'm very bad. I'm very fractured. I'm sorry. I've had a few beers, but the question was relating to have you got a game? So you've got 3 games on your platform now, and KingLord is one I've talked about a lot. And currently you've got your 4th racer series, I think it was. And I hadn't actually seen your video footage of the car part driving, but can you talk a little bit about how KingLord is a playable game, but you're stuck with the SDK? Can you explain that to the audience?
Sure. Yeah, so I don't know if anyone in the crowd has heard of Kin. It came out like 3-4 years ago. Really good business model, I thought. It's all about building a massive ecosystem, and there's one token that all these apps at the time, there was like 50 different apps that would use Kin, and they were building a massive ecosystem. A couple of years ago, they announced they were moving to Solana as an SPL token. At the time, I was getting involved in I wasn't a software developer or a game developer a year ago. I just wanted to build a project with the kids that the kids would find interesting, and started learning Unity off of YouTube videos. So when I started building the concept of KingLord last year, I sort of got so far, and then I had to bring someone else on because I was able to build out characters and worlds, but when I start doing all the back end coding of it, the character would fly off into space and never come back. So there's a lot of in-game physics you have to play with in Unity, and I started getting other people to help build it. So yeah, basically, one of the big hurdles of Kin, they have a bunch of SDKs across different platforms like Android, web. But
just
the
to
one
preview out on
that
SDK.
I need is for Unity integration, and that hasn't been built yet. They're still fluffing around trying to finish off the Unity SDK. They basically broke a lot of these SDKs when they moved to Solana a year ago.
So can you clarify SDK for the...
Yeah, it's like a software development kit. So it's like an interface of how to integrate your game into the Kin ecosystem and start using their token in your game. So that doesn't work yet. It's annoying, and I keep pestering the Kin team, hoping if I can get to Lisbon, meet one of the directors of Kin Foundation, William, and just walk up to him and give him a slap in the face, try and get him to finish the SDK. But it is coming. They're still promising to get devs to build it. They've completed 80% of it. It's still not finished. What I have found is, don't give up. Keep trying to develop things, and we might be able to integrate NFTs through Stardust, and that's something I'm working on this week with Stardust team to try and nut that out and have all those KingLord playable characters integrated into the game. Yeah. So it's a playable game in beta. It's on the Android App Store. We are trying to build it out so it works on PC and Apple. But yeah, you can download it now on the Android store and just play it. So, what you're earning there is just in-game, token that, increments on your screen. It's not real Kin. We are hoping in the future to make that real Kin when we integrate the SDK. But yeah, we've basically built 3 levels, and now we're about to release the 4th level, which is kind of like Mario Kart racing, cruising around a track, running over monsters on the highways. And I put some screenshots of that on the Gamerplex blog as well, so you can sort of get some alpha and see what it looks like. But yeah, basically you can play level 3 right now on Android.
Everything is an alpha, of course. It does take time to develop these games, get the SDK out there, let other people implement it.
Yeah, it's probably something I've gaming industry is all about, you know, massive development times. Takes 3 years to build a game. I'm trying to approach it the opposite way. So just build something quickly, get it out to the community, which is the Gamerplex community, and get them to start testing it and say, yeah, welcome to get feedback, say it's shit, say this is broken, and we'll fix it. You know, we are trying to decentralize development of games here, and that's what Gamerplex is about. Eventually, we are looking into coming up with a DAO model for decentralized development of games, where people can have in the community have proposals around what to put in the game, and then we just vote on the proposal and then start developing and really have quick agile sprints every couple of weeks of just building out games that the community directs the design of. So we are trying to build that up over the next couple of years. Yes.
So you want to platform it out and have more community games come in, or you want those ideas and you'll build it?
Yeah, just start building out the primitives of what decentralized game development looks like, and then, you know, use those primitives as I won't say a launch pad for other game developers, but just tools that would help a small group of game devs launch a game, and, you know, integrate with blockchain and build out guides and build out other tools to help developers in the future. I'm also really keen on the concept of the Solana metaverse, where you can use NFTs in one game and then transfer it across to another game and then keep building it up.
So you've got to have the NFT be built in a position that it can be easily transferred. If it's not built and everyone's using different codes and different programs, different software, you can't do it.
Exactly. Yeah, you need like NFT standardization in games. So it's not good enough to just have the picture or the 3D model. It needs to be actually able to work in other games. It also needs like metadata to you know, say, well, I use this character or player in one game. You know, I reached level 42 XP, and then transferred over to the other game. You don't want to lose all time you spent building up the player character in one game to lose it in the other. You know, it could be smart contracts that all the games have to talk to. That's something I really want to. It's a problem that I would really want to fix and throw developers at to do it. So, yeah, it's certainly an interesting space, and, you know, if anyone wants to help, just join Gamerplex Discord and jump in and provide feedback.
Bro, you'll see. Yep, welcome back, mate.
Hey, thanks for letting me on. Thanks for all that really informative and really useful information. Just a quick intro, just to don't want to be out of the blue. So I'm from Hong Kong, and just recently joined the Grape Discord and the DAO community. Not super deep into the gaming of the crypto world yet, but so for me personally, I'm more building towards the content creator kind of directions, and essentially trying to speak with different founder and find like just generally trying to produce educational content in the longer terms. I think wondering like if in this space currently, what is like the best way to like sort of like build this kind of content? Is this like to speak with people directly on different Discord, or like how does it work generally speaking? I'm really trying to get this started, and happy to hear your input on this. And secondly, if I could also ask, will be you guys mentioned earlier about some NFT guild that some of you are building, and I noticed one of the quite big guild in the Ethereum blockchain is the YGG, which is like the U Guild Games, which is backed by A16Z. I'm wondering, like, are there any other more guilds that you guys are tracking or think that the model is working well that I'm interested to just have a few references so I could into it?
Can I have this one, Metaverse? I'm back.
Yeah, go ahead, mate. Go.
I think what better in Solana is the Grape than be able to compete with YGG. I'd love to be able to do something and help and push towards doing that. It's something that I've been passionate, and I can't even answer why. I've got a lot of reasons and a lot of explanation towards it, but Solana we are very fucking early in the gaming side of things in Solana. It's happening. We've got so many games opening up. There's over 50 plus games in the ecosystem, and I think this is why I've reached out. Bro, I was very appreciative. For context, Bro actually did a one-page summary. It's a partnership. It's Bro. Is it your partner, Bro?
Sorry, I didn't get your question quite correctly. Sorry.
So is it your partner as the second researcher that you're applying with?
Oh yeah, so we're doing it in a team of two, and I feel like a lot of the time people are doing it and like individually, and we just hope to do it together with a friend of mine.
No,
that's why I love it.
That's awesome. So Bro actually did a one-page application towards why he could become a good Solana games researcher, and I didn't get enough of a chat with him, but I did say, at Grape, we want to grow. There is so much, and there is so much availability to become a community creator. There's so many things behind the stages that we don't recognize often enough. Now, we're 2 hours into a stream. We've got designers, we've got people that are doing our videos for us, are cutting videos, doing extra content. We've got so many people that are hidden at Grape, and we need more. All right, so it's the day after. I'm just done a bit of editing. I've spent probably 6 hours trying to chop this thing up. So we had a great night, over 2 hours. We had a lot of people come on stage. A special thank you to KingLord, Funcracker, Wing, John, and Bro420 for coming on. I think obviously I need to manage the time a bit better on stream and probably stick to 6 beers. I think it's definitely going to be there. I had a lot of fun editing the video in the end, even though it's taken such a long time, and my aim isn't going to be to do that every week. I can't manage the time-wise to do that, but really awesome fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to timestamp if you've cut to the end and there, but as always, guys, I really hope you enjoy the night, and thank your mother for the rabbits.